glory band of Irish football in 1987. And we're going to hear now from the managers, Trevor Crowley of Shamrock Rovers and Ian Barraclough of Sligo Rovers.
Ian, was it a difficult team for you to pick today?
Always. Don't like letting people down, and we've got players that can go and make an impact for sure. So the 11 are obviously happy, but the others are prepared to back them up, and we're an attacking force today, and we're looking to score goals.
Trevor, there's so little to choose from between these two sides, and they often say, you know, it's how the teams perform on the day. How do you think your boys are today?
Yeah, we've prepared well. We've had a good week coming into it, so hopefully we get that performance. We've worked for it, so let's hope it comes out.
Well, Trevor Crowley has led Shamrock Rovers to 2 cup finals, as we've already mentioned in our programme this afternoon. They've won both of them. Can they reach a third? That's the big question. But they face a Sligo Rovers side, Richie, that, needless to say now, has given up on their league title aspirations. This is the chance for Sligo to get to a big cup final.
It's a great opportunity, and it's an opportunity to do it at home, which probably would put them favourites in my view, but it is a great opportunity. They're not going to win the league. They finished strong, but they're up against a Rovers side, with the exception of the Liverpool result, the Limerick result, and are in a decent run of form. And one thing we can say about both these teams, which you couldn't say about the first semi-final, is they're both packed with very good individual players. I don't think we can say that about Drogheda, but I think this could be a real cracker of a game.
Yeah, Shamrock Rovers are having a strong end to the season, Tony. Sligo Rovers, on the other hand, have at times found goals hard to come by, even at home here at the Showgrounds, which was a real fortress for them last season.
It was, Peter. I think the manager has tried to change the style of play, and he's been criticised a lot for that this year, which I feel is a little bit unwarranted. You know, the man brought the first league title after how many years of barrenness up here, and I think for him, he's tried to put his own mark on the side this year. He does tend to play with 2 holding midfield players. His approach play tends to be a little bit more cautious, whereas Paul Cook, his predecessor, was a bit more cavalier. But at the same time, I think he's done a great job. They're still in the fight for a league title. It's not looking good for them, but they do have paths to come, and you know, anything could happen there. I think his cup run, phenomenal cup success in recent years for them. They're at home today. The pitch is wonderful, great occasion, great atmosphere for the game, packed house. I think they're looking at this as a real opportunity to get a bit of silverware out of the season, and it's a very good opportunity for them. I think different story for Shamrock Rovers. This could turn their season. I think it's been a good season, but it hasn't been a great season for them. Yeah,
very often when we're at big cup matches, we always mention cup pedigree. Both clubs have had magnificent cup pedigree. Shamrock Rovers this season, needless to say, and Sligo Rovers been in 3 of the last 4 FAI Cup finals, so they both have strong cup pedigree, if that counts on the day, Richie.
I really don't think it does. Every competition, World Cups, everything, people talk about the performances of previous squads in previous years. I don't buy that, to be honest. But picking up on Tony's point, I've heard the criticism as well that Barraclough is getting here, and maybe that's a factor in why the club aren't yet committing to his future beyond the end of this season. Why you would criticise a manager for being maybe conservative? I've heard those little gripes that he's not playing as attacking or as fluid football as Sligo would like. I think they've got to remember where they've come from. You're not talking about a Sligo, a club here that have been winning leagues year after year, playing a certain style of football. He delivered the league title this year, and I think he's done a tremendous job and could really finish strongly with a win here today. Okay, well, the match day programme here in Sligo this afternoon has christened this one the Clash of the Rovers. The question is, who will emerge as a talismanic Roy? We'll find out over the next 90 minutes of football. It's time now to join our big match commentary team of George Hamilton and Brian Kerr.
Thank you, Peter. Yes, a wonderful sunny afternoon in Sligo as the teams make their entrance to the pitch here, ready for the action in the second of these 2 semi-finals of the FAI Ford Cup. Sligo Rovers on the left, Shamrock Rovers on the right, and a match being refereed by Alan Kelly, who it became clear in the past week is in his last season in the Electricity League before he departs to become a referee in the MSL in the United States. It's quite an occasion for Sligo, this, and the weather, Brian, has arrived to make the best of it for us.
Well, I've been in Sligo for plenty of cup games over the years, George, and I've never really had to try to keep the sun out of my eyes, but it's a magnificent setting. The ground is almost packed full. I'd say there's 4.5, getting near 5,000 people here. Most of the Sligo people were in for an hour before the game was due to kick off. Huge Rover support as well. Pitch is magnificent looking. 2 very well coached teams about to play.
And a smell of cordite about the place as the flares go off. They've gone off to salute Sligo Rovers as they come out to play. There's the Sligo Rovers team with 3 changes from their last outing. David McMillan cup-tied, Gavin Pearce is suspended, Cretaro, Ventre and Danny North come in for Sligo as manager Ian Barraclough seeks some punch up front. They've a club record, a lot of clean sheets at the back, but they need goals.
Yeah, well, Danny Ventre coming into the middle of the field with Joe and Doe, give them a little more experience. He's missed a lot of the season, the captain, good player. They know Joseph and Doe can't get around enough, around the whole pitch for long enough. Jalali will give them a bit of pace and dash with Danny North to be hoping to expose a lack of pace in Rovers' defence.
And as for Shamrock Rovers, with 4 changes for them from their victory over Bray. Thomas Stewart comes in for Shepherd in front, McCabe for Quigley, captain Shane Robinson resumes in place of Stephen Rice, and Conor Powell is fit for the left back position ahead of Danny Ledwith.
Well, the big change there is Richard Bush coming in. He played the last couple of matches and played very well when Murphy was out, but they'll be looking to Finn and McCabe to create the chances as they did against St. Pat's in the previous round when they had a magnificent win in Inchicore 2-0.
Now they're the substitute bench, plenty of experience there on both sides.
Yes, indeed. When you look at Shamrock Rovers in particular, Stephen Rice, Carl Shepherd, Sean O'Connor, Mark Quigley, goal scorers there. A lot of depth on the Rover side particularly.
This is a minute's applause for Andy Tiernan, a lifelong Sligo Rovers fan and volunteer who passed away during the past week. And the crowd generously applauding one of Sligo Rovers' most faithful fans, Andy Tiernan. Andy Tiernan, remembered on the ground he tended so well. It's an indication there of that. You can feel the sense of community there is about the Sligo Rovers club. It really is at the heart of the city of Sligo. Alan Kelly, I reckon this is going to be his last FAI Ford Cup semi-final.
Well, I'd say you'd be hoping he won't be involved in the same controversy as County Man was in Louth today. He's a very, very good referee indeed, Alan Kelly, and he will be a loss to Irish football. I think both teams would have been happy to see him nominated for this game. He's always on top of it, always well up with the play, and he looks like he's in very good shape himself. I'm sure he's been looking forward to the game, anticipation, 2 great sides. I really don't know how this one is going to go, but I don't think it'll be an open game, George. I think the 2 teams are very well coached and organised and structures, and I think there'll be a lot of cancelling out around the middle of the field. I don't see there being a huge number of chances. It may be a mistake, a set piece, or a bit. There's not brilliant players on the pitch come up with something brilliant, but I don't see it being very, very open. There's too much at stake.
Yes, it's not every team gets the chance to even get this far, never mind get to an FAI Ford Cup final. And of course the other thing is that famous truism in football, you never remember the losers in semi-finals. It's always the teams in the finals who get the glory. Joseph and Doe early involved. It's now with Billy Dennehy, who's had such an influence for Shamrock Rovers through their cup run this season. Helped forward there by Shane Robinson, the Shamrock Rovers captain, but it's through to Gary Rogers in the Sligo Rovers goal. A bit of a breeze swirling around, but all in all a very, very pleasant afternoon, shirt sleeve kind of afternoon for the fans in Sligo. This is taken on by Aaron Green, who spent last season at Shamrock Rovers. Green attempted to get it in, and the referee has indicated that his assistant has flagged that the ball had gone out of place, so it would likely be a throw-in to Shamrock Rovers.
I think when Graham was going around the full-back Conor McCormack, he overran it just a little bit. From here it looked like he'd got away from him and he'd forced something from it, but he'd actually run it out of play. No trend yet, a bit early. I think Sligo will be looking to get it up, as I said, in the build-up. I think they'll be trying to get it into North, and Jalali, they brought him in off the wing for many of the games I've seen him earlier in the season to use their pace and maybe expose McGuinness and O'Man.
Well, it's Cretaro who's snatched in this, but he's been half dispossessed. And that looked like a foul, and indeed was called as such by Danny Ventre, the Sligo captain.
Yeah, Danny Ventry going in after Richie Ryan there. That's the intent is obvious from Sligo. They're saying we're not going to allow Richie Ryan dictate the game in the middle of the field. Played well here in Sligo for a few years. Went off to Scotland with D United. Back marshalling Rovers midfield now.
Free kick taken by Brush. Davern gets up high. Moved forward there by Ventry, but that's gone out of play. So far out of play that it's bounced off the roof of the stand on the far side. Trevor Crawley, a tough baptism for him in his first season as Shamrock Rovers manager, but he's brought them a long way and a remarkable record in cup competitions. 16 unbeaten in knockout in the last period, and Trevor Crawley has masterminded that for Shamrock Rovers, and they want to maintain that all the way to the Aviva in November. Doe just stretching there. Davern's got to go and tidy up. Succeeded in doing so. Green laying it back, and now it's Doe. Cameroon International, World Cup experience with them in 08 and 2012, forward by Alan Kane. And another whistle, just a little tug there for the Sligo man. And free kick is awarded to Shamrock Rovers.
There's been a few rough little tackles early in the game, but there's nothing wrong with that, and no surprise really. There's so much at stake for both teams. You expect players, both full-backs for Rovers, Powell and Conor McCormack have been told to get in tight to Quintero and Green on the opposite flank. Equally Sligo full-backs, Davern and Keane on this side be trying to get tight to Rovers, their immediate opposition player.
Bounced off the head of Conor McCormack there. That's Gilali helping it back. Danny North was the target man there, but Jason McGuinness comes away with the ball. Billy Dennehy trying to help it on. Kane in there strongly on him. Back it goes to Powell, who's been put under pressure by Pritaro. And Pritaro, well, successful enough, but they got it back to McGuinness to clear. Long from him towards Thomas Stewart. Underneath it, Jeff Henderson. And that's away for a throw to Shamrock Rovers.
Neither team been allowed to get on it around the middle of the field. The centre halves have it, they've had to knock it forward long.
Dennehy. And there's the first shot in anger coming in from Gary McCabe, but a long way off the target.
Yeah, little set up with Ronan Finn floating, coming in off his wing, in on the inside. Little link with McCabe, the wild shot. No test for the goalkeeper, Rogers, yet.
He's just going to decide which of the two footballs he wants to use. And the game will resume with a goal kick to Sligo Rovers, who of course tasted a defeat in the cup against Shamrock Rovers earlier in the season, the Sports Cup. The Rovers of course with that cup already in the trophy cabinet and the Setanta Sports Cup to show for their efforts this season. Past and Doe it went. McCabe couldn't control it. Pumped forward by Henderson. And Pritaro will run, but Brush is there first. And Brush's long ball forward is sailed out of play, and it's a throw into Sligo Rovers. One of the more distinctive goalkeepers of the Electricity League, Richard Brush's Shamrock Rovers. And Doe then. Henderson forward for Ventry. And Doe, composure on the ball, cleverly done. Nice football by Sligo, and it's Jeff Henderson. And now Gilali, and Umford Green through the middle is North. Davern around the outside. The opportunity to cross it by Green, and it's out for the first corner of the game.
Well, easily the best move of the match so far. Joseph and Doe and Ventry in the midfield, building her up between them, even under pressure from Richie Ryan and Robinson. Eventually worked out the Green. McCormack did well to block the cross. First opportunity to get a decent set piece into the box, and both teams are a threat at set pieces.
Big corner from Gilali to the back. McMillan's ahead it back, but it's gone out of play. It'll be a goal kick to Shamrock Rovers. Just a little bit too much air on that one to really threaten.
Looking at Evan McMillan getting in there. He did very well as a centre forward last year, George, for Bohemians. Aaron Callahan put him up front and ended up as the leading scorer with 9 goals for Bohs. He's back here playing as a centre back, which is his true position, where he made his name and got to know the game at UCD and Pats. But he's a very, very dangerous man in the box.
Forward it goes from Shane Robinson. Kane is there to head it away to safety. Billy Dennehy will chase it, and decide that the better option is to let it run for the throw-in. Ryan, tidy. Ken O'Man. The corner's gone Powell. Kane, a wily customer, can deal with that. Cretaro and Kane again. And Ndo. Under pressure there. The throw has been awarded against him. It was the pressure of Shane Robinson that caused the problem.
Yeah, immediately Sligo tried to play it out from the back in towards Ndo of Ventry. Robinson and Richie Ryan are going in really, really tight to them. But Joseph is happy enough to take it, no matter if there's a man coming tight to him.
Davern against Ronan Finn. Robinson was just caught there with a foot by Jalali, and Alan Kelly has blown the whistle for that intervention by the Londoner, and it's a free kick to Shamrock Rovers.
Might have been actually Ventry, George, that was out there, out the flank. Definitely high and late, but Alan Kelly not making a massive deal about it, not running over, flashing a card, lets it go, nice and calm. Players respect him, they know he's on top of it, gives a free kick, and that's all it was.
Well, there it was, and that's the decision that's gone against their team. And free kick to Shamrock Rovers. Troops massed. O'Man and Jason McGuinness are up there. The low projected the free kick, doesn't beat Davern, who gets it well away.
Well, it wasn't a bad ball in with the flight of it. It just wasn't a Rovers player. The big Rovers players were further back at the other side of the penalty area.
Gary McCabe again, who took that free kick involved, and ball's gone out for throw to Shamrock Rovers. Ryan on for man, clip it over the top. Davern into the corner and shepherding that out for a goal kick.
Well, again, same problem for Shamrock Rovers as they tried to play it into Richie Ryan, the centre midfield. Straight away, Ventry is in on top of him, forcing the ball back to the centre halves. And McGuinness, that one just overplays it again, trying to. The distribution of the centre backs on both teams is going to be very important today because they're the only players who may get a bit of time on the ball, particularly in the first half hour.
It's away by McGuinness. Stewart will chase it, but really the opportunity of getting there. Goal to Sligo Rovers. And look at the ball. They can resume with the throw-in. Tight opening, both teams determined not to give anything away. Ndo away from McCabe, it's one back, it's now Dennehy. Ndo chasing back, Dennehy's little ball in, oh dangerous. Keeper committed but couldn't quite get there, and Davern had to clear it.
Yeah, it was a dangerous ball there, but again, pressure by Shamrock Rovers players, not allowing Joseph and Ndo time on the ball. It breaks kindly for them. A little dink into the box here, tempts Rodgers off his line, he misjudged it, floated by him, but it was just hooped away by Davern and cleared.
Now that's too long for Danny North, and Brush out of his goal. Terrible challenge that, and it's got a free kick to Shamrock Rovers. It was Henderson who went charging in there.
I think he hurt himself, he did more damage to himself, George, going in there. It's a fairly rough connection with Shane Robinson as well, but we haven't seen the centre forwards of either team involved in the game yet. Thomas Stewart hasn't had the ball into his feet, neither has Danny North. It's been scratchy enough. Delali hasn't been able to get on it. A little bit of McCabe for Rovers, but not a lot else.
Yep. They make him rugged where he's from. Jeff Henderson, same place as Jack Charlton, Ashington, Tyne and Weir, the northeast of England.
Yeah, went through his apprenticeship at Newcastle United, never really made the breakthrough here. He's had to wait his time to get his chance here. Now he's in the team, still a young fella, still could probably end up going back to England if he plays consistently well in the league here.
He's 21 years of age. But he does appear to have done himself some damage in that rather rash challenge. The stretcher's on. This is sad for Sligo at this early stage.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to be using up a substitute so early in the game, but they may have to. To go with Seamus Keneally or Liam Martin, maybe. A lot of midfield players, Lee Lynch, attacker, Million is an attacker, Elding, centre forwards.
There's obviously a connection with a protruding part of Shane Robinson's anatomy that has drawn blood, which seems to be the worst of it. It's not so much an injury that's likely to keep him off for long, but he'll need to be stitched up. So Sligo continue with 10 men.
Just looking at Aaron Green has come in on the flank. Ventry has gone off the pitch for a bit of repairs. So Green has come in a bit off the flank. Jalali has dropped back in and North up front on his own.
Kane. Good challenge there by Green, didn't quite come off. Green challenging. McCormick deciding the best option is to go back to the goalkeeper, and the referee has blown the whistle for a foul against Danny North. Combative striker.
But there's a lot of fairly tenacious tackling around the centre of midfield at the moment. I'm not quite sure what happened with Danny North there, but Alan Kelly picked it. He done a little bit of a dig at Conor McCormick after he played the ball, as is his wont, Danny's style. But it's been very tough for any of the midfield players to get a hold of it, get control of it. It's up in the air a bit, a lot of fellas slipping, no real pattern to it yet, but I think it'll calm down, George, after 25 minutes or so.
Clumsy challenge by Cretaro, advantage is played. It's now Conor Powell for Shamrock Rovers. It's cut out by McMillan. There's Danny Ventry, back and stepped in the defence. It was indeed the Sligo Rovers captain. It's now Doe. Davern looking for the run of North. Can a man had the legs of him, and the ball safely back from the Rovers' point of view with their goalkeeper Richard Bruch, that being Shamrock Rovers, of course. McGuinness, a little flick on there by Dennehy, tidied up by Ventry. Jalali on for Cretaro. Kane going around the outside to assist if required. Cretaro with the early ball in that wasn't too effective, and it's cleared by Richie Ryan. There's one for Stewart to chase. Thomas Stewart looking for men inside, and there is one, and that's deflected away. Cretaro back defending, but he's almost lost out to Powell. And eventually a little order restored to the proceedings by the fact that the ball spun out the goal kick.
Well, it's probably the first real chance of the match. Rovers' numerical advantage at the moment. Ventry's actually gone in centre back for Henderson while he's still off the pitch getting those repairs. But as the ball came across, decent enough ball in here, set it up with the right weight on the pass. Robinson has the crack, Ventry gets in the way, Sligo get away with it. But it was an opening. Rovers just with the extra man at the moment have the little chance to establish a grip on the game, maybe make the breakthrough. It seems to be taking a long time, whatever's going on with Henderson.
The quick application of a staple or two to tidy up whatever it is has caused that flow of blood. That's Ventry intervening, and McMillan to send it forward. And Jason McGuinness underneath it, the firm header away. Cretaro attempting to bring it under control, not succeeding. And now Dennehy has played it off Kane, but Dennehy has gone down, challenged by Kane, who'd lost the challenge. Free kick to Shamrock Rovers.
Wasn't an awful lot in it. It was a foul, all right, but Shamrock Rovers crowd just behind all that action, having a bit of a go.
That's swung out wide to give the opportunity to Shamrock Rovers, but Davern, strong of the challenge, concedes the corner.
Yeah, I think he's ready to come back in now. Henderson, big bandage around his head on the far touchline. But just saw Ronan Finn getting on it there, trying to get around his man Davern. Defended very, very well indeed. Ronan Finn is a real danger man. He's in good form.
Well, Henderson is back to help defend the corner, and you won't miss him with a swathe of white bandaging around his head. Patched up to continue. And here's the corner. Not properly cleared yet. And finally it's out for another corner.
Those two huge centre-backs, McGuinness and Oman, were at the far post. They're dangerous, they're difficult to deal with. Oman got it back across the goal, wasn't quite cleared by two attempts for Sligo to get away, but McGuinness was there battling, as was Oman. Another one on the other side now. Rovers, plenty of players up there. Danny North just up front for Sligo, everybody else back in their own penalty area.
Right over the top, where it'll be retrieved by Oman. Decent ball into the centre half, keeper in trouble. McGuinness had the shot and Doe has cleared it. Back in again by Oman, and a deflection just wide. So close.
Well, it was the two centre halves again, George, causing all the trouble. The first corner was driven right away to far post. You see Oman here rescuing it. He did really, really well. It was like a winger's cross. Rogers lost it under pressure. McGuinness' shot blocked away. Then another ball back into the box. A flick by Robinson, almost glanced her into the far corner. Great attempt by Shane Robinson it did. But the two big men, when they're up there, are causing Sligo a problem.
McGuinness with the firm header, but it's spun away here to Green. Green against McCormick. Green's ball in, headed away again by McGuinness. McCormick can't retrieve that, and it's out for a throw to Sligo. Davern. Tenacious from McCormick. Send it forward towards Stewart. McMillan's there to head it down. Assistance comes from Ventry. Back to Henderson. And on for Kane. Kane for Cretaro. Danny North. Holding off Oman. Back again towards Cretaro. Powell arrives. Cretaro. Good ball in there. Jalali, and cleared away by McCormick.
Well, lovely play from Sligo that time. Nice, neat move. Started with Kane. Cretaro involved. Danny North involved. And a nice ball in from Cretaro to pick out Jalali here. You see, it's a lovely soft touch into him. He has a little look up, tries to get the man into far post, but McCormick intercepts, gets it away.
Joseph and Doe. Done well. Now it's Kane. It's stopped by a firm challenge by Powell. Stewart chasing, Henderson there first. Did well, Mondeau just couldn't bring it under control, but chasing into the corner, ever willing, is Jalali, who just couldn't keep it in play, and that is a goal kick to Shamrock Rovers.
We're starting to see some constructive football now, George. It's settling down. Some players will play. Just seeing that one again. Trataro's little ball in for Jalali to play the first time to far post. McCormick read it very well. He's had an excellent start to the match. He's handling Aaron Graham very well. But we are starting to see some football now. Teams trying to get it down and play, particularly in the wide positions.
No challenge there by Green, who was deemed to have been the last to touch it. So throw in to Shamrock Rovers. Henderson not afraid to use that bandaged head. Shane Robinson trying to get it forward and has continued to run there, but the Shamrock Rovers falls backwards. And Bush will have to leave his area. A little bit loose, but there was no real danger. Goalkeeper was aware. Cleverly controlled by Henderson, who's now wearing a number 32 on his back. Clearly there was only one number 6 in the Sligo kit bag when the team changed for the game.
Yeah, well, Jason McGuinness took a knot there as he went into midfield to intercept a pass. He just seems to have twisted his ankle a little bit. He's not, well, he's got up, he's not looking for treatment, he's going back in there. Henderson's come back on the pitch with that big bandage, as you said, George, and he's come into the game very well, very composed looking, using the ball well when he can get it.
The ball had been put out to allow attention if required to Jason McGuinness, but it wasn't, so the throw tossed back to the goalkeeper Richard Brush. Davern. There's no man. Didn't control the ball forward, and it's gone out for the throw to Sligo Rovers. Carefully done by Davern. It's Gilali. North trying to make his angles for him, and down goes Gilali. And the referee's going to have a word here.
A brilliant piece of play to start that off by Joseph and Doe. Calmness, link up with Davern. Great pass through the middle to release Gilali in the space between the midfield and the back four. He was running directly at Jason McGuinness, which he wouldn't particularly like. Just see Gilali running at him now. Jason McGuinness steps across him. Definite yellow card. Good position for Sligo. Will they go for a straight shot here? It's a long way out for Aaron Green or Joseph to have a go at it.
It's 35 metres. It's a long, long way. There's Alan Kelly pacing out 10 of them. And there's another 10 to the 16-metre line, which is the metric equivalent of the 18-yard line. So it is 35 metres. Undoe over the top, not effective enough. Undoe in again. Henderson's still up there, but it's headed clear by Robinson. Green taking over now for Sligo Rovers, and it's Davern. Irla Davern, pace and power into the corner, and Danny North almost at the end of the pass, but they've well, it's touched North on the way out. Clearly they felt they'd got a throw, but Alan Kelly had other ideas, and it's been awarded to Shamrock Rovers. Ian Bartlett not pleased either. Well, it has the atmosphere of a cup semi-final, really. It's tense and taut, and the crowd on edge. Good afternoon's entertainment in Sligo for the Ben Bowman.
Well, the football's been mixed so far. You can understand that, George. These two teams, they would have the height of respect for each other. They're well organised, well structured, a lot of cancelling now. But at the same time, there's some very good football in it. A few little chances. Nothing too clear-cut yet. So we're just going to have to wait for those opportunities to come. But both teams capable of constructing really, really good moves.
And Doe showing that even at the age of 37, he can still do it. Opportunity here for North to play it. Oh, this kick by Ventry, and Ventry again, and he's done it. He completely missed his kick for the first attempt, but they didn't close him down. He had another opportunity, and Danny Ventry, the Sligo Rovers captain, who scored the opening goal of their cup campaign in Waterford back in the spring, puts them in front of the semi-final.
Well, he got a lot of time. It was a really constructive move. Started by Joe and Doe to Delali, and Green's little ball. He picked out Ventry's run from midfield, got one swing at it, missed it completely, under a little bit of pressure from Richie Ryan. Captain gets the goal, and Sligo have probably had, well, they've played the better football. They managed to get it down a few times and string a few things together. A couple of crosses into the left-hand side. A great lead goal for them. Very, very important lead goal for them. Goals have been scarce between these two teams this season.
And something else that Shamrock Rovers might care to bear in mind, that in their last outing, Sligo Rovers set a club record by drawing 0-0 with Cork. It was their 15th clean sheet in the showgrounds this season, surpassing a record of 14 set just 2 years ago. So Sligo Rovers, the clean sheet specialists at home, have now got a lead.
Yeah, well, they've only conceded 18 goals in the season, George, in the league in 30 games. So we know they play it tight at the back, but this is a cup tie. I'm sure Rovers will go for it. They won't be saying we're struggling now, we're out of it by any means, but they did get thrashed down here last year in a very important league game.
Sligo Rovers have now gone 703 minutes without conceding a home goal. Shamrock Rovers will be out to end that little sequence. And hitting straight back. But a header away by Davern to avert the danger of this occasion.
Well, when Billy Denny was running with the ball, George, that time on the left flank, another ball came flying out on the pitch. Now, Alan Kelly would have been within his rights to blow the whistle and stop the game, but he let the play go. Billy Dennehy crossed it and they just got it away, but a strange moment.
What a classic moment for Ian Barraclough, the Sligo Rovers manager. His team's in front and he's talking to Tony O'Donoghue.
Ian, what a reward, I suppose, for your attacking philosophy today.
Yeah, I think so. At the moment, it's an edgy affair. You know, they're trying to push us back by turning the back four to make sure we don't have to sit too deep. And I think if we keep possession in there, getting Jalali, Green, and Kratara on the ball, will cause problems.
With all the attacking players you have, that wasn't the player you were expecting to score, was it?
No, but that's another reason for putting experience in there. See where the ball's going to drop, cause problems.
Danny Ventry scoring just his 4th goal of the season. As we were saying, that one of those came in the opening FAI Cup tie. That was the second round down in Waterford, where they won by 2-0, and he got the first of them. Nothing for Sligo fans to cheer. Jalali denied there by Ken O'Man. And the unmistakable Henderson for Davern. Green running ahead. Gone for the shorter option. Danny North. And Doe, rather ambitious, has played it straight to Dennehy. Robinson. Determination by Doe, and now Danny North. And North with a strong run, and Kratara out wide. Kratara back for North. And North attempting a shot, which will rebound to Alan Kane. Straight into that thicket of hoops, back by Ventry. North, good turn.
Very good effort for Danny North. Pressure on from Sligo as Rovers clear the ball. Ventry's first touch back into the box. Great touch. We see the header come out from McGuinness. First touch, Ventry. Good touch and turn from Danny North. Too close to Richard Brush. But at this stage, you would have to say that Sligo are starting to get their rhythm going. Joe and Doe getting on the ball in the middle of the field. Henderson very calm at centre half and using the ball well until he kicked that one into touch. But they've just got their act together, and Jalali is coming into the game. Rovers haven't been stringing passes together. Richie Ryan been closed down immediately. He tries to get on the ball.
Approaching the half hour then, and the advantage to Sligo Rovers. Powell into the danger zone, cleared away by Davern. McGuinness and Ryan. Ironic cheers from the home fans. That went awry.
Billy Dennehy's pass out to Powell, far too heavy a touch altogether, just as Rovers seem to be stringing a few passes together.
Doe to Henderson towards Davern, who's beaten there by McCormick, and McCormick in firmly once more to make sure that Sligo wouldn't progress on that occasion.
Just looking a little bit sharper all around the pitch at the moment, Sligo. Just getting to the tackle before the Shamrock Rovers player, nicking the ball, winning the headers. At the moment, it's going for them a little bit. Trevor Crowley be looking for his team to pick it up. They need Shane Robinson, Richie Ryan getting a hold of the ball, and McCabe not falling over when he gets on it.
It's helped on by Ronan Finn, but again, it's a red shirt that retrieves it. And now it's McMillan. Kane. Interception by Ryan. Henderson. Killed Green, who kept it in play, but only to McCormick's advantage, did he? No, he didn't. Gone out. Throw it is to Shamrock Rovers. Shane Robinson, their captain. And McGuinness. Powell. Run by Dennehy. Dennehy with the cross, cleared away by McMillan. It's Jalali. Put it to where he thought North might be, but he found only Ken O'Man.
Well, he could have done with Johnny North making a bit of a run for him. He hadn't much on Jalali. Danny North stayed away the far side.
despite the protestations. It's a handball.
He's had very little of it so far, Thomas Stewart. He's been playing very well in recent weeks. He's established himself as the main man there. But it was a handball. Henderson and Macmillan have been in very quickly around him. Anytime there's been a cross, last good ball in from the left-hand side by Powell, intercepted by Macmillan. The Rovers just need to get a hold of the ball and start putting passes together. The high-pressure game has dropped off a little bit and Sligo are taking over.
More news from Tony on the touchline.
And I'm with Shamrock Rovers' Colin Hawkins, and Colin, obviously going a goal behind, you've got to react to that.
Absolutely, yeah. We were happy enough with the start we made, Tony, but we'll obviously be disappointed with the goal we conceded. Didn't defend the cross well enough in the box, but it's a long way to go. We've a half an hour to play, so we're still in this game, no problem.
You matched up with them tactically. I mean, it was almost a mirror image the way the two formations were lined up, but you have to change that.
No, at the moment we're quite happy. You know, we just need to create a couple more chances and get people across people in the box. But and from set piece we've caused a few problems. So it's early in the game, and you know we're okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, your point entirely, Brian. There's a long way to go.
Yeah, there is a long way to go. I think Colin made some reasonable points there, but I think he could have added into it. We need to get on the ball and stay on the ball and string a few passes together and feed it into Gary McCabe in a bit of space and get up and support him. So far, Ronan Finn and Dennehy on the left wing have had very little service, and Stewart has hardly had a ball into his feet or in behind that he could get onto yet in the match.
Then again, Sligo Rovers just that bit sharper, and Doe steering the pass around the opponent and finding Alan Kane, and the chance for Sligo to move forward once again. And their goal came from good work in the centre of the pitch that started the attack going, and Doe did well there. Kane a bit isolated here, and possession given back to Shamrock Rovers. Robinson chased by Gilali. Robinson pushed over then by Green. And the referee waited to see if there was advantage. Good refereeing by Alan Kelly. And the card is going to come out. Is it Henderson who kicked the ball away? Or is it for the challenge, in fact?
I'm not quite sure what that one was for myself, George. You just see Jalali running, and Henderson gives a bit of a pull in the side of Shane Robinson there. All right, he was so far up the pitch. I suppose Henderson, he said, I don't want him going much further until I get back into my centre-back position.
Well, he's got a yellow card for his trouble. The second of the match, one each. And the scoreline is 1-0 in Sligo's favour, and they've got that offside decision to come back from an offside position. Thomas Stewart, just a rueful shake of the head there. Too long, ran away from Aaron Green there.
Long kick out from Rogers. Breeze carrying it a little bit right down into the corner. Sligo pressing in on Shamrock Rovers now. They won't allow them play it out in the back. McCormick will just have to throw it down the touchline because Jalali is in tight to Robinson. Joe and Doe is on Richie Ryan. Danny North cutting off the angle as well. It'll just be a down the line job and a scrap for it.
Another extraneous ball on the pitch. And McCormick takes the throw, and Henderson goes in to win it. Kane descended back forward again. It's Oman's head. McMillan up with a firm header. Nicely controlled by Jalali. And knocked back towards Davern, who can use Green. But McCormick was alive to that situation. McCormick finding Stewart. Finn, very deep for the winger. Onto McGuinness. And McGuinness. It was Powell he wanted, but Powell couldn't keep control. The challenge came in. And it's a throw in to Shamrock Rovers. Curtaro making sure it went no further. Dennehy swinging it in.
But that was a better last minute, George, for Shamrock Rovers. Good ball up from McCormick to Stewart to start it off, and he held it up and brought Roman Finn into the game. Ball switched over. It ended up with McGuinness again, being such an important man. He's the free man. It's like Sligo are leaving him spared and saying, see what you can do, pass it. And it's been mixed so far. Last one was a good one to Powell.
Green for North, who was challenged firmly there by McGuinness. The referee saw nothing wrong with that. Danny North still on the ground. And Sligo now with Ventry. Danny North is still on the ground as the attack continues. It's Davern. And out of it all, they win a corner, and Danny North is still prostrate on the ground.
Well, had they cause to claim a penalty when Green played her into the box and Danny North went for it, James McGuinness come into the back of him here. Probably not. He's entitled to go for it. He just bumped him a little bit as Danny tried to take in his chest, but I've seen referees give penalties in those situations.
Well, treatment for Danny North. The PFAI Player of the Year last season. The success that he had. That was just a challenge by McGuinness. The referee saw absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Well, I don't think it was a penalty kick. I think he was entitled to jump. Danny North was jumping as well, and it was just a collision between them. I didn't think it was a foul. It would have been a very harsh penalty to give, in my opinion.
North back on his feet, but will have to leave the pitch. He won't be able to get involved in this corner kick as he's received attention. Sligo's top scorer last season, 18 goals in 22 games. League, and one of the goals to a lesser extent this season. There's the corner that Brush has to stretch for. It's a touch from the goalkeeper that means it's another corner to Sligo Rovers.
There's a very dangerous ball from Jalali, whipped in corner kick, just coming outside the far post. Brush got a vital touch on it. I don't think any Sligo player, I don't think Henderson would have made it. It was a really, really dangerous corner nonetheless. And Danny North is back on.
And able to play a full part here, and the furthest Sligo man forward under the nose of the central defenders as the rest group and await Jalali's corner at the edge of the penalty area. Henderson at the near post, McCormick's header away. Sligo still in possession, and Doe stepping forward. Just again the touch too heavy, and out for goal kick.
Well, Henderson lost his bandages in that attempt to get a header on the corner. Actually, I think Conor McCormick actually caught it. I thought he was going to handle the ball, but it was Danny's bandages, or Henderson's bandages, that flew off. He's gone over the touchline now to see if he can get more repairs.
Yeah, out they come with a sticky tape again, and it's a measure of the commitment of the player. He's stitched up, he's bandaged up, and he's still in there. And McCormick is there defending, and that ball out of play gives us a chance to hear again from Tony.
Well, Jeff Henderson, I saw him being ministered to when he went off, and they wanted to get him back as quickly as possible, so they actually didn't stitch him. The doctor told me that they were going to wait till half-time to stitch him, so now that the bandages are gone and he's bleeding again, he'll definitely have to be stitched at half-time.
Well, medical bulletin, our football correspondent.
Good on you, Tony. in the war zone over there. But look, they won't want him to go off. He's played very well in the match. He's been constructive in possession. He's been dangerous when he's got up in the other area. And he's been tight to Stewart when he's needed to be.
Cross from Davern over the head there of Green, and harmlessly away. Ultimately, we're in the final 5 minutes of the first half. And they'll be able to get the staple gun or the stitching needle out for Jeff Henderson very shortly. But for now, it's petroleum jelly and a liberal application of bandaging.
And Danny Ventry's gone back to centre back again, where he's played for a couple of years for Sligo, a few years, 6 years at the club. He's gone back in there. Jalali dropped back in with John Doe, so it's 4-4-1 with just North up there. Not getting a lot of ball to his feet, Danny North, or neither is he getting her in behind, but still I think Sligo much happier taking in Barraclough. Apart from the fact they're ahead, they've been better in possession, they've used possession better and looked more threatening in this first half.
Forward by Oman, it's the head of McMillan, Henderson is back now for Sligo. They're back to full strength, but there's Gary McCabe trying to worm a way through. Intervention there by Green, popping up out of position. Did well. McCabe is averted the danger.
Well, Green did well, but Kane's a bit wild. The clearance went into the big crowd of Rovers supporters that are on the side of the pitch. I think Sligo will be just happy to play out this time to half time. Now they've got Henderson back in again in the centre back with McMillan.
Gary McCabe offloaded to Billy Dennehy, whose shot rather was more a cross shot that went nowhere near where it was intended to and has gone out for a throw.
Yeah, it's a shot that went out for a throw in. Doesn't say a lot for a completely missed kick. To McCabe getting into the game a little bit more now. He's trying to find those spaces again where he's been so effective just playing behind the front man. But Sligo are well wide to him. They know what's going on. And Doe is getting there quickly and venture.
It's fouled by McCormick and Critaro. Conor McCormick suggesting he did nothing wrong there, but the arm was up, and I guess that's why Alan Kelly blew the whistle.
Yeah, I don't know why he had his hand up there going for, he's a small guy going for the header. It doesn't make any sense. He threw his arm up in the air.
Green slipped there. It meant that McGuinness was able to get it away. Dennehy struck forward towards Stewart, and keeper made his catch, Gary Rogers. Just caught Stewart there. Entirely accidental. Stewart fell underneath him, and he's just checking to see if Stewart's all right. He says he is, so he won't put it out of play.
It was a poor ball from Dennehy through the middle, just banging her over the top and hoping Stewart's going to get onto it. I think part of Rovers' tactics seems to be, say, Stewart will outpace either the centre halves to get it in behind, but I think they're a better team than that. They can play it around. They've got to get it to Finn's feet, McCabe's feet in particular, and try and create something from those balls.
Forward by McCormick, helped on there by Stewart. McCabe couldn't get on the end of it. Daveron is there under the pressure from Finn, and the throw is of Shamrock Rovers.
He's a good player, Ronan Finn, but he's a bit isolated out on that side. He got a smashing goal with his head coming in off the wing against St. Pat's off a diagonal cross. But today he's been I suppose haven't got possession to him out there, and he's been very restricted, I think, so far. I think he's more effective playing around the central area where he can break and influence the game more frequently.
There'll be 2 additional minutes at the end of this half. Right to Ryan, and it's rebounded here. Going forward, looking for Ndo. Ndo somewhat isolated.
Tried one of his flicky, tricky ones, not in a good area of the pitch, but they've got it back now, Sligo.
That was Jalali and Critaro battling on. Critaro, pace and strength, looking for North. Cut out there by Oman. Headed away by Robinson. This is Sligo's again. Henderson. Diagonal towards Green, operating on the right side this time, but just too much pace on the pass. Goal kick.
Yeah, it was worth trying. Decent ball, just the Breeze carried it forward. Just looking at some of the Shamrock Rovers players further up the pitch, George, and I have to say they look a little bit lethargic looking. Finn, McCabe, Stewart and Dennehy, they're not playing with the same zip or spice as they have in recent games, and given how important this is, I'd be expecting a bit more from them. I'd say Trevor will be getting stuck into them at half time, looking for more effort and graft and a bit of dash as well as control and passing. They also got to show energy and enthusiasm for the task here.
Henderson's header putting it out of play. Shamrock Rovers throw. Towards Dennehy, and Gary Rogers is just happy enough to see that go outside his upright.
Yeah, but good ball in from McCormick, who's played well in this first half. Dennehy gets across his man, gets across Keane, gets a header, didn't really trouble Rogers.
So Henderson has departed again. Obviously the referee not happy with the state of the wound. So it's almost half-time. He can be properly patched up. He might need another shirt as well. I suppose the half-time lottery could be, which number will Jeff Henderson wear in the second half?
Well, they just want to get to that half-time thing and get the thing sorted out properly by the medical people. It seems to be in a position where it's awkward to keep the bandage on, and it's probably restricting his view. But it's messy for them. They've had to keep dropping Ventry back to just in the midfield. But they've done all right. Shamrock Rovers haven't really affected him when he's been off the pitch.
Well, the 2 minutes of additional time have elapsed. Alan Kelly indicates a throw. And Sligo Rovers in no hurry to take it. That means the half-time whistle sounds, and the cheers in the showgrounds in Sligo are for the home team, because thanks to Danny Ventry's goal in the 24th minute, they have the lead at half-time. Sligo Rovers 1, Shamrock Rovers 0.
And you're very welcome back to the showgrounds, where a goal in the 25th minute from Danny Ventry separates the sides here. It's Sligo Rovers leading by a goal to nil. Tony, we're going to get straight to the analysis, and I suppose the important thing to stress here is the importance of the work done in midfield by Joe Doe and indeed Rafael Curtaro to get this move going for Sligo Rovers.
Absolutely, Peter. Sligo are well on top of midfield in that first half, and Doe's been instrumental, as is Curtaro, as is Jalali getting on the ball here. Lovely turn, opens up the play for him, slips it out to Davern, who again has been good, delivered a good couple of balls into the box. Great ball in for Ventry, who unfortunately hits a fresh air, but he won't care. Tucks it into the back of the net. I question Richie Ryan here, lets him go. Should have followed Ventry, didn't, and enough Rovers players in that box to deal with that cross, and they didn't. So it's poor defending from their point of view, but just rewards for Sligo. They'd gotten on top in the game, bit of early pressure, they had settled it down. They were the team that were dominating in midfield.
Yeah.
Shamrock Rovers really need to get a hold of it in that area of the park if they have any say in this game.
Yeah, I suppose one key factor for Sligo Rovers, Richie, in that first half was they were winning the 50-50 balls more frequently than Shamrock Rovers, and as a result they were creating a few more chances.
They were. I mean, Brian used a word at the end of commentary about Shamrock Rovers, that they were lethargic, and I'd fully agree with that. I mean, these are a couple of patterns of play that we're going to see from Sligo here. But many players were involved. It was Kane and then Curtaro, Jalali here just putting across the face of the goal. But they looked always the more positive side. This is Danny North here just trying to create an opening for himself. Kane follows up in support as well. This is things that we didn't see from Shamrock Rovers at all. The wingers have been isolated. This is Ventry here that sets up North. But from Rovers, like, we haven't seen much from the wingers. Stewart hasn't got possession of the ball. No one supporting McCabe when he's gone on. It's been very patchy from Shamrock Rovers. They haven't really been able to influence things at all. So Sligo have been on top, by far on top for a lot of that half. Yeah, so not surprisingly, Shamrock Rovers not creating a huge amount from open play. They did get a half a chance from a set piece though, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, it's all they've really had in the first half. I think they've had a couple of good deliveries. First 10 or 15 minutes, I thought they started the brighter of the two sides, actually. A couple of good balls into the box. I think this one drops to McGuinness, who has a snapshot. Ball's played back out. You know, Rovers are still in good possession. Good ball back in, and clever little flick by Robinson. A little bit unlucky. You'll see in the replay, actually. You know, first time when I saw it, it might have been overly critical. I thought he could have done better, but it was good ingenuity. And again, decent ball back into the box. Little flick, didn't really have his bearings, and that was about the best of it from Shamrock Rovers' point of view, which is disappointing. So, and also I think the first 15 or 20 minutes in that game, I thought the referee and masterclass in that first half by Alan Kelly. There was a lot of high tackles. He let a lot go. There was a lot of quiet words in the ears of players to calm things down. And I think only one booking in the first half. I thought he stood very well to keep control of the game. Yeah. So of the two managers, I suppose they will both have various serious chats with the respective teams, but Trevor Crawley has to try and get that Shamrock Rovers midfield working. Richie, what sort of changes can he make? He's not going to make personnel changes at half time, but tactically, do you think he's going to alter it at all? Well, you can take the example from what Sligo did in the first half. I think Tony's right, they started very well, and I think they competed well, and they both tried to do the same things to each other. Sligo wanted to get Shamrock Rovers wanted to get Richie Ryan on the ball to influence midfield. Sligo wanted Joseph and Doe on the ball. Sligo did it better. They've just got more space in the midfield, and to go back to Brian's word, lethargic, there's an energy level that Sligo have that Rovers don't have. Now that doesn't involve any personnel or tactical change from Trevor Crawley to introduce. That maybe just needs a harsh word at half time. So if they up their energy levels in the second half, they're going to improve their performance, but they need to get ball and quality ball wide. Dennehy and Finn aren't involved. When McCabe's gotten the ball, there's not a lot of support. Stewart
had very little to do in the first half.
Yes.
The ball's not getting up to him with any quality at all. So there's a lot of areas there for Trevor Crowley to work on.
Yeah, and therefore, Tony, the Sligo Rovers back four haven't really been tested so far in this game, have they?
No, they haven't. And I think with Gavin Pearce missing, that was an area where you felt, Shamrock Rovers might have applied a bit of pressure. Evan McMillan coming back into the side, but he's looked fairly comfortable. Sligo Rovers have looked fairly comfortable. I think, to be honest, back to Shamrock Rovers and what they can do to change that and make Sligo a little bit uncomfortable. I think Ronan Finn is wasted on the right flank. I know he's been played there in recent weeks, and I know that's to the benefit of the team, and they're a little bit more compact, and I think Robinson in the centre of the park has helped tighten up, but I think they're being overrun there, and unless they change that and maybe bring Ronan in and make him, get him a bit buzzing around the centre of that midfield area, I think leaving him where he is, he's too isolated. Yeah,
but it's still very tight here at the showgrounds. At half-time, Sligo begins at 7 o'clock on RTE2 on Friday evening. Well, we still await the arrival of the teams back out for the second half here at the showgrounds. Tony, looking at the options on the bench, if things don't change for Shamrock Rovers, obviously Trevor Crowley, he won't be hanging around in terms of trying to change it.
No, I think, if he doesn't make any changes at half-time, he'll probably give you 15 minutes, Peter. And I think, they certainly need more energy in the centre of the park. They need more involvement out wide, and they need someone up front that's going to stick it when it's played into them. And I think, you're looking at maybe a change to put Ronan into the centre of the park. If you look at the bench, they've certainly got Sean O'Connor can come on out wide, and he's been a very effective player for them over the last period of time. So I'd like to see maybe him involved. You got Quigley, who was one of the players of the year last year. It's not the player of the year in many people's eyes and the reward that he got. And Shepherd also is a decent centre forward. So there's plenty of options available to them. I think he will give it 15 or 20 minutes to see how it shapes up in the second half before he makes any radical changes. And he's a fairly relaxed manager. He won't admit that he got his team wrong at the start. He'll think that they shaped up okay. They didn't necessarily do what he would like them to do, but he'll give them a period of time, I think, to turn that around.
And of course, if Mark Quigley makes the return to the showgrounds, he should get a reception.
Yes.
I'm not sure what type of reception he'll
Probably
get,
not a positive reception from the majority of people here, to be honest. But I think Tony's right. I don't think Crowley will abandon his plans because they've gone the way they have so far. He will look for an improvement. He will have spent the half specifically outlining how that improvement can happen, and he should expect a hell of a lot more from the players than they delivered in the first half. They're better than what they played, and they have played a lot better than that recently, relatively consistently as well. So they've been disappointing, to be honest, because we expected more from them. We bigged them up before the game. There are a lot of talented individuals. Tony's gone through the bench. Their bench is exceptionally talented as well, so expect more from Rovers.
Yeah, we certainly know how tentative a 1-0 lead can be. In fact, we saw it in the first semi-final where Dundalk had a few chances towards the end of the game and could have, but didn't salvage a draw. But here, if Rovers get back into this at the start of the second half, it'll be a real impetus for them, won't it?
It's all to play for, Peter. I think Sligo Rovers certainly won't rest on their morals either. I think they've got to play, and they've got to keep the appetite up. They've got to keep that bite and desire that we were challenging Shamrock Rovers to achieve in the second half. And as long as they do that, they'll be in good shape. But they've got to keep the tempo high. That's been what's achieved so much of them in this game so far.
Okay, it's fairly nicely balanced at the showgrounds. Sligo shaded that first half, and that's reflected in the scoreline. They lead by a goal to nil. The second half about to get underway. Let's rejoin George Hamilton and Brian Kerr.
Thank you, Peter. All set for the second half as the sun swings round behind Ben Bulbin. It's a magnificent sight here in Sligo. A beautiful afternoon. Sligo Rovers, who've now gone 723 minutes without conceding a goal here. They haven't conceded a goal in this season's FAI Cup, and that reminds Sligo fans of the fact that in 2010 they went all the way to winning the trophy without conceding a single goal. Shamrock Rovers, including the Leinster Senior Cup, on a run of 16 unbeaten cup ties since they lost to Coleraine in the Setanta Sports Cup at the start of the season. But that is now on the line as Sligo are 1-0 up at half-time, and as that statistic will have told you, don't tend to concede too many in this venue. But they haven't beaten Shamrock Rovers this season in all the various meetings, and they were knocked out of the EA Sports Cup by Rovers, which is one of the trophies that they won. That's the Setanta Sports Cup. They're in the final of the Leinster Senior Cup, and they're bidding for the final of the FAI Cup, a competition they haven't won since 1987. They await their 25th in much the same way as Real Madrid await their 10th European Cup Champions League.
Well, they need to pick it up, George. They're only a goal behind. The cup game, they'll get opportunities, no doubt about it. We expect them to have more of a go. And if not, as the lads were discussing at half time, you could see the likes, certainly Mark Quigley on the pitch, Carl Shepherd, good attacking player, Sean O'Connor, 3 good attacking players, because the forwards so far haven't done enough for Rovers. But they just need to start getting around the pitch quicker in general. Not much, little bit signs that this first few seconds that they're trying to get at Sligo, but we'll see if they sustain it.
Danny Ventry intervening there. Kane is possessed by Dennehy, but the referee said his foot was up, and it's going to be a free kick to Sligo Rovers.
It's a free, all right. Leg was up. What we see just now, Kane goes to play it, little bit high coming in. Now, again, Alan Kelly, no big fuss about it. Didn't run over, stays about 30 yards away from the instant, just blew the whistle, and the players respect his decisions.
Ventry. Kane getting the better of Billy Dennehy, but just lost his footing at the crucial moment as Shamrock Rovers get it back. And sharpened up a bit at the start of the second half for sure. Robinson, though, muscled out of it there by Gilali. Sligo Rovers, Gilali, the ball's gone out, and they've won the first quarter of the second half.
Lively start to the second half. Gilali, still a young player, but he's a lot of experience under his belt, knocking about in England at Crystal Palace and Wimbledon. He's been effective, making good runs, getting on possession here again, forces the corner kick.
Into the danger zone, firmly headed away. Jason McGuinness. Dennehy held off by the vastly experienced 37-year-old Joseph Ndoe, and then Gary Rogers a little bit loose with that, making it difficult for Davern and Ndoe. Green trying to get in there. Ken O'Man holding him at bay. And Henderson seemingly aware that he's being chased down by Thomas Stewart. He felt the ball was going to win the race.
It looks like they've had plenty of time at the bandage at half time. It's well strapped on. See Trevor there getting out to the edge of the bench. Say he had a bit of a go at half time. There's Henderson, lovely bit of red Sligo sticky tape. I wonder do they have to have red tape in the bandages now, the way you have to have, if you wear undershorts, they have to be red as well. So they found red tape. Don't see too much red tape in the medical fellas' bags.
Now, red tape tends to be associated with committee rooms and not with treatment rooms.
There's plenty of that around football now, George.
The knockdown finds North, and North rolls it on. Gritaro is tackled, and a fine challenge means a throw off Gritaro for Shamrock Rovers. And Tony O'Donoghue has early second half news.
Well, again, just on Jeff Henderson and his bandage. Yeah, it's a very well strapped bandage, and it needs to be. He hasn't been stitched at half time. They were unable to stitch it because of the location of the wound. He came off 3 times in the first half because of the bandage and the blood, so hopefully that won't happen again this half.
Thanks, Tony. I think you're fit to do your first aid exams after this one. Free kick to Sligo.
Yeah, Joe, you mentioned Joe Ndoe a while ago there, George, and his influence in the game. It's magnificent. I mean, he's 47 now. He's been in Ireland, I think, over 10 years. And in my book, I'd say he's been the best one.
This was the foul that, well, almost the foul that has led to this free kick. And Ndoe, yes, with experience in the Cameroon squad at 2 World Cups.
Yeah, I think he's been the best player who's come in from abroad to play in the League of Ireland, George, in my book.
Free kick just wouldn't reach McMillan, and has gone for the goal kick.
A good ball in from Gilali. McMillan trying to get in around the far post. McGuinness just holds him off. We see it here, floated in, beat everyone. He's the last man. Ken O'Man does his job, brother, holds him on.
Henderson got up to win that. Shamrock Rovers throw, Conor McCormick. Robinson, that's Davern cutting it out. Ndoe. And North putting the pressure on McGuinness, steered back to Brush. McMillan stood firm. Gilali. cleverly off to the captain Danny Ventry, and Ventry in turn for Critaro. Critaro facing Powell, back for Kane. Ventry. And Critaro had set off on his run. Ventry hadn't picked that up.
He haven't given too many bad ones today. He's been very involved with Danny Ventry, but the Rovers had the last throw in on this side, not much movement, very little happening for them, and ended up just being thrown to nowhere, and then the next ball is just kicked forward. There seems to be a lack of intent about them, and decision making seems to be off. Looking for someone to inspire them. Maybe Mark Quigley coming on could be that one. How would he react to being brought on to Sligo, having been the hero and the player of the year last year and left the club?
Cormac with the throw. Stewart lost out to Ventry. Well, appeals that the ball was a throw-in, and eventually the whistle signs in Shamrock Rovers' favour.
Yeah, Thomas Stewart lost the ball just before that incident. Lost the ball. He was in possession, turned inside. Look at the setup now. Again, Sligo players getting all around, making tackles in force, getting possession, then stringing a couple of passes together like this.
Critaro, Kane. Critaro once more. Joseph Ndo in the right place and picking out a good pass. Gilani, lovely pass for Critaro. Critaro for North shot, but straight at Rush.
Another great move, George, and Joe and Doe at the heart of it, stringing passes together, return passes to Critaro. The ball into North was beautiful. He had a go, not enough pace on it to beat the goalkeeper. But signs again, they're Sligo are much more constructive and clear about what they're trying to do. There's little patterns and combinations in their play. Whereas with Rovers, it's a bit hit and miss at the moment. Shamrock Rovers, that is, I'm in.
A bit of red, those Rovers in the ascendant. Jalali with close control on for Davern. Davern has green. Ndo. Little misunderstanding. And then a foul by Danny North.
Caused by Joe and Doe playing a loose pass. Hasn't been too many of them at the match. Danny North fouls on his way back.
Shamrock Rovers swiftly on with it and winning the free kick.
That was a foul with Ventry. Just needs to be careful. Definite foul. McCabe trying to get going, trying to inject a little bit of pace into the Rovers' attack and invention. It's a long way out to be shooting here, but they've had so few sights of goal so far. I think Denny here may have a go, or McCabe.
Well, Gary Rogers setting them up where he wants them. Shamrock Rovers with Thomas Stewart in the wall. And delivered by McCabe straight into that wall. Dennehy couldn't keep it in play.
It's a very frustrating spell for Rovers. Get a free kick in a good position. He hammers it low into the wall, and then when it breaks out, there's an opportunity to string a pass together, get a cross in. McCabe knocks it into touch.
And Doe back to his keeper. Davern put under pressure by a rather too hefty clearance by the goalkeeper. That's Ventry back assisting, the header away by Kane. The pressure's still on. Billy Dennehy wins the corner.
There's a timely intervention by Danny Ventry running back towards his own goal as Finn crossed, trying to pick out McCabe in the box. I think he was in a position to get a shot at goal, but Ventry did well. A little bit of a discussion at the far corner flag. He shouldn't really be getting involved with that, Billy Denny. He needs to get on with the game and keep his head. Alan Kelly having a word with him.
Billy Dennehy with the corner. Knocked back, looking for somebody running onto it. It didn't quite happen, but Gary McCabe has won it back, and now it's Dennehy again. And a diving header away by Davern. Now McCormick, and they queue up in the hooped shirts. And Henderson composed, well done. took it down in his chest and got it away really well.
Yeah, Sligo a little bit fortunate that time. They were men short on the far side. Rovers had 3 players over when the cross come in. The Doe was there, but they got it away eventually. But they were a little bit short. Shamrock Rovers played the right ball at the far post. Had 3 men there that was too short to cross.
McGuinness. Dennehy. McCabe helping it on. Robinson. Measured towards McCormick, cut out by Green. Onto it comes Billy Dennehy with determination. Ronan Finn, I should say. And Ronan Finn is denied by Aaron Green. And it's a throw to Shamrock Rovers.
Just coming into the game a little bit now, Shamrock Rovers. Finn getting on the ball down the right-hand side. Attempted cleared, but Finn is in quick, gets it away from Daverton, tries to get the corner, but good defending by Green.
Now it's Danny North against Shamrock Rovers, all on his own. A little bit of pull of the shirt there that the referee didn't spot. Jason McGuinness. Shane Robinson now. Finn. And McCormick. And all the way across to McGuinness. It's Ryan. Played forward to Robinson. Now Dennehy. And then Doe arrived to win the ball. Take it literally off his toe.
He won it clean, George. Started off and fouled, but he didn't make any contact with the player.
Robinson wins it back. Now Gilali. Ghosting past Richie Ryan. And then for Green. Green against McCormick. McCormick did enough to make it awkward for the Sligo man, but Green can retrieve it. Davern's there in support. And the arrival of Ronan Finn made it difficult for Davern. Henderson in there, and he's impeded by Thomas Stewart, and it's a free kick to Sligo Rovers.
It's a good period in the game, George. Rovers having a bit of a go. Shamrock Rovers, Sligo on the counter doing well. The laddie was really, you said he waltzed by Richie Ryan, great description, slipped around to Green, attacking the box. Good defended by Conor Cormack, and McGuinness getting across. A chance for Sligo to get one into the box now. Will they put the 2 centre-backs up? There's a bit going on the Shamrock Rovers bench as well. Not sure they're going to make a change soon, but
the free kick, Green and Davern together. Davern, Gilali just denied there by Ryan, but he's given it away to Ndo. Ndo inviting North to chase in there, but McCormick is there for Rovers, Shamrock that is, and that's out for goal kick.
It's quickly, isn't it, George?
Yeah, well, this is going to be an interesting substitution because Mark Quigley was such a big influence in Sligo Rovers winning the league last season, but now he's in the colours of Shamrock Rovers. PFI Player of the Year last season, and boos for him as he makes his entrance in place of Gary McCabe.
Well, that's to be expected that there's boos. They would have been annoyed down here that he did so well, and then he left very quickly at the end of the season. He was almost signed up by Rovers, Shamrock Rovers straight away, but he's had an injury-ravaged season this season. He's been very patchy for Mark, but he's a brilliant player, inventive player, capable of absolute magnificence in some games. Sometimes he can take a while to get into a match. They need him to get into the match straight off now.
Well, he's only got the 1 goal this season, that a penalty in the cup, an indication of the kind of season that he's had. They love him to come good in this Shamrock Rovers.
I think Jeff Henderson might have took a belt on the head with Ronan Finn, went across the ball, he took it flush on his loaf and he went down for a few seconds. His face looked like he winched. Just seeing it here, it's a fair smack he took, knocked him over, and he's back in his place, back in the box, back marking Big Guinness.
Here's the corner. No difficulty in the end for Gary Rogers in the Sligo Rovers goal. Danny North, meanwhile, stopped by McCormick, who stood firm. And now what's available for him? The option he's gone for, Shane Robinson. Dennehy. Doe winning the challenge with Finn. Green. Gilali. Doe. And Ventry stepping away. Close control from Sligo. Slipped through for North, who was onside. That's unfortunate. It just caught him on the heel.
Lovely little move again and out to Ventry, and Ventry's through ball. He was onside. The linesman was running with Danny North, but the ball clipped him on the heel. Just needed to be 6 inches to the side, and he was clean in behind the fence going through the middle.
Another foul. And eventually the whistle sounds and Shamrock Rovers get the free kick. Ventry scorer of the only goal in the game so far.
Important for Shamrock Rovers now that Mark Quigley gets into the game. Sometimes he can be, Mark can float around a little bit, waiting on things to happen. They need him to be on the ball, start trying to make some things happen for the team, come up with some passes, some invention, and some shots and goal to give Rovers the chance to retrieve this.
Gilali, Shamrock Rovers, chance to break free. Powerful running by Ronan Finn, and looking for the run. Thomas Stewart back then with Finn. Headed away by Doe. Ryan, McCormick, and Finn. And in the end, it's a header that goes harmlessly wide, and it's a goal kick. It gives us a chance to call in Tony O'Donoghue again.
With Colin Hawkins again, and you've made your first change early enough in the second half.
Yeah, Mark has come in. Yeah, he's playing in the hole there where Gary was. He'll give Tommy Short some extra support, but I'm very happy with the last 10-15 minutes. We started the second half really well and creating some chances there. A header from Billy, obviously. So we've got a half an hour. Hopefully we get this goal that we need, you know.
Thank you.
So Mark Quigley, the change that they've made, of whom they've high hopes. Alongside Thomas Stewart in front now. There's Quigley with a layoff. It's gone straight out of play and it's greeted with ironic cheers.
And a bit of derision as well, I think, from the Sligo contingent. But certainly Rovers will be getting a bit of hope from this right-hand side. Ronan Finn starting to get the better of Davern, I think. And Green is not getting back as much as he was to help him out. They're getting in on this right.
It's McMillan away. We have been making the point about how parsimonious Sligo Rovers are in terms of goals conceded. Shamrock Rovers' only goal conceded in this cup run was to the AUL champions and FAI Junior Cup holders Sheriff FYC. John Rock getting the only goal against Shamrock Rovers in the cup this season. But Sligo Rovers have yet to concede one, and Jeff Henderson is in the wars again.
Sheriff scored against them. Sheriff are a decent team, George. So won the FAI Junior Cup the last couple of years. They're a very, very good side. They gave Rovers a good match. But what's more important now is for Shamrock Rovers to find goals and score goals. They didn't get too many in the league this season. I think they only got 28. But they've been scoring regular enough in the last 8 or 9 matches. But they need to find a goal now. Some encouragement, as I said, down the right side with Ronan Finn. Then he getting in at the far side with the header. It's really the only attempt at goal, but they've been getting closer to getting that the type of cross that may create the goal. Henderson going off again.
And a great ovation for him, because this time he's going off for good in terms of this match. They're going to have to make a substitution. He has been in the wars. He has been magnificent. But now, 65th minute, it's time to go. Jeff Henderson will be replaced by David Cawley.
Yeah, he's played very, very well indeed. No doubt about that. I think that final smack he got when Ronan Finn attempted to cross the ball and they hit him flush on, seemed to knock the sting out of him. So Cawley will come into the middle and Ventry will go back into centre-back position where he's been filling in regularly in the match so far. David Cawley's a good player, good strong player, gets around the pitch well, gets tackles in, experienced at this stage, knows what to do, what's required in this situation.
A battle-hardened veteran from Ballina, another West of Ireland man of the Sligo lineup, and a scorer of 7 goals this season, on top of everything else. But in there, in the midfield position, as you say, with Ventry slotting in where he's well familiar at centre-back. Sligo's defence will remain parsimonious, you feel.
That's another loose one, Mark Quigley. The last 2 balls he's got, he's knocked both of them into touch. His touch has been off, a slow start for him, but that's can't afford to have him as a slow starter. They need him now to get going as the minutes tick on. Sligo just allowing Shamrock Rovers to come into the game more. They've not had so much control. They may get Danny North away on a break or something, but I'm sure Barraclough would like to see his team control, and I'd say he'll go for another sub, will he?
Looks like Seamus Keneally is going to come on. He's all set to do so. Second change for Ian Barraclough. And it's going to be Danny North, who's replaced by Seamus Keneally.
I think a good substitution, that, George. And he hadn't really done an awful lot in the match. Didn't look as sharp as he was in the early part of last season when he scored that string of goals. Got a very serious cruciate injury. He's only got back recently from that to full fitness. Petaro going to play up front now. Keneally will be the wide man on the right. Young lad, was only a couple of years at Sheffield United, was in Galway as well, but knows what's required again in this situation. The extra legs will do Sligo no harm, but Joe Gando will hardly keep going at the pace he's done over the first, well, it's probably about 66 minutes.
66, just turning 67, yes. And midway through the second half, and really we haven't had any indication that Shamrock Rovers are going to unlock the Sligo door. Just 1/4 of the match remaining. And that was Cawley. This is now Stewart. Ventry getting back into position. Stewart has given it away to Keneally. Keneally and Kane. Shamrock Rovers putting the pressure on and forcing concession of the throw. Well, that's what they thought, but it took a touch off a Shamrock Rovers boot. It's Sligo Rovers throw.
But the last bit of play again, good touch by Tommy Stewart, took it in beautifully. He played off a pass straight to a Sligo player, gave possession away again before Rovers can get the rhythm in their passing. Richie Ryan, we're not really seeing him control the game. Shane Robinson not in it as much as I would have expected, but there's still time for them to do something decisive in this match.
Stewart, Quigley, and the speedy intervention from the captain Shane Robinson. Kane heading away. Dennehy trying the volley. This time it's Ventry who heads clear. Green couldn't control it, but Robinson has thumped it. His desperation to get on the ball, he hit it much too hard and it's gone out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a good little pass and movement in that play. Mark Quigley was involved, and it looked like something was going to happen. There's just see the clearance here, the attempt by Billy Dennehy. Sligo getting bodies in the way. An awful effort from Robinson. I think Rovers are going to go for another substitution. Johnny O'Connor, the next one on, might give them that little bit of dash and pace that they need.
Tapped on by Petaro. This is now back from Green to Davern. It's come out to Ndo. And Ndo spotted Curtaro's run. He's onside. Curtaro just missed his kick. And McCormick able to get it away. It's some desperation, you feel.
Great ball from Joseph Ndo again. Little chip over the top. Spotted Curtaro one side. Got a touch. McCormick has played well in the match. Defended very well. Just see Joseph playing it in here. Delicate little pass. McCormick gets back around before Curtaro gets the shot away. He kind of just miskicked it completely when he was in there.
And Sean O'Connor comes on now for Shamrock Rovers in place of Billy Dennehy. As Trevor Crawley tries to freshen it up. It's Finn. Forward by Ryan. Stewart. McCormick has showed too much of that to Davern, but they've given it away again. It's Ronan Finn. Quigley wants it. Quigley has it. But his little layoff was read by Alan Kane, and it's out of play for a throw to Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah, his little layoff, and it was to nobody really, and then he appealed to the referee that he was fouled. There was no foul in it at all. Mark is starting to get on the ball a little bit and influence the game now. Sean O'Connor will certainly give them dash and pace down the left-hand side. They're getting an awful lot more of the ball in the Sligo Rovers half, which is encouraging for them. But so far, they haven't used possession very well.
Robinson layoff to McCormick. Robinson again. Ronan Finn. Finn taking on Davern. Joseph Ndo. Oman in the way. Cretaro making life awkward for him. And Cretaro's little layoff. Keneally. Cawley losing possession. Cawley trying to get involved again. Ryan. And here's Cretaro in behind them once more. And McCormick makes a great intervention, but Alan Kelly is given a penalty. And that is going to be a red card for Conor McCormick.
My instinct, George, was that McCormick got the ball. In the action of getting the ball, maybe he took down Cretaro before he reached the ball, but to me it was very similar to what we saw earlier in the draw of the match today. Good ball. I think it was Ndo again played it in. Controversy now with the red card.
Well, no point of appeal. Let's just see from this angle. Oh, he did. It's a foul. The angle deceived Brian. From that angle, it's quite clear. It was a foul. He didn't get the ball. He got Cretaro, and Alan Kelly spot on.
Yeah, well, he got the ball. He got the player though. Got the player first, I think, and he moved the ball. I think referee got it right. Just on our look from our angle, referee was a lot closer. I think he got it right. But there was a clash with Delali. He went for the ball with Ken Oman that led to that whole situation. That Shamrock Rovers were scarce of players defensively.
And now Cretaro, who's moved to the centre of the attack, brought this about, is not going to take the penalty. It's going to be Alan Kane at right back, who hasn't scored this season, against Richard Brush to put Sligo 2 up. Sligo, of course, won 2 cups on penalties in recent years. And there's another penalty to send them surely on the way to the final again.
Well, that was rattled into the net by Alan Kane. Great finish, really. Deadly penalty. Gave Richard Brush no chance. Hard to see Shamrock Rovers rescuing it from this situation now.
Well, no question, goalkeeper guessed wrong. Kane more or less down the middle, but determined and planted it, and it's 2-0. And Sligo, who beat Shamrock Rovers on penalties in the final of the FAI Cup, and who beat Shelbourne on penalties in the final of the FAI Cup, have now got another penalty. It's a story of penalties, really, isn't it?
Yeah, the Shamrock Rovers were starting to push on a little bit to take a few chances to try and get forward, and they were a little bit scarce at the back, and then the incident happened. We didn't actually see a replay of it. The incident happened, the clash with Oman and Jalali, and it led to a huge hole in the Rovers' offence. I think it was Ndo slipped it through straight away. Cretaro was in 1-on-1. Now we're seeing a messy incident over in front of Rovers supporters.
Well, the frustration boiling over as their team bidding to make it to the final of the FAI Cup, the 44th time, and bid for their 25th FAI Cup. No team has been as successful as Shamrock Rovers in this competition, but they have not at this point got a recent cup success to look back on. They haven't won since 1987, and it looks like they're going to be denied again. And Sligo Rovers, who put Shamrock Rovers out of the cup in 2 of the last 3 seasons, look like doing it again.
Well, they've had a remarkable run in the cup, really, George. I think in 2009 they were beaten in the final. They won it in 2010 and 11, and now they're looking like they're heading to the final unless something really extraordinary happens. Shamrock Rovers down to 10 and 2 goals down. They need a bit of a miracle from this situation. But look, if they can scratch one, then there's a game on again.
Well, they've got precisely 15 minutes against the team that set a record at home, and here's a little bit of silliness, really. Gary Rogers, the goalkeeper, just overindulging himself there a little in the celebrations, winning the free kick.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised with Sean O'Connor is involved. He always often annoys fellas of opposition teams, and his demeanour, some of the little actions he takes at certain times, doesn't do himself any favours.
Quigley. Quigley crowded out of it. Oh, and an error there by McGuinness, but tidied up by Oman. Keneally caught. It's Quigley this time.
It's right in front of the dugout, so Ian Paraglov is having a go off it. Not sure how bad it was.
Mark Quigley having given away the free kick. A frustrating time now for Shamrock Rovers, but they can't let the frustration dictate their play, because if they're to survive in this season's FAI Cup, they need 2 goals in 15 minutes, and getting frustrated isn't going to help them.
No, they've got to keep their heads, they've got to calm down. There's a lot of experienced fellas on the pitch, Shane Robinson, Richie Ryan, the 2 centre-backs, Oman and McGuinness, and they've really just got to get calm and try to get themselves up the pitch. They've enough inventive attacking players there to find a way to get a goal, and if you get 1 goal and you're down to 10 men, it doesn't really matter you've only 10. You have a go, it's a cup match, so they've time to do that, but they need a lot of common sense and cool heads around the pitch.
The free kick taken by Conor Powell. McMillan Klein, the layup by Gilali, and Green, one through the middle for Cretaro to chase, and Oman was first there. Good defending by him.
Yeah, Rovers, Shamrock Rovers short down this right hand side now, with McCormack gone off. They don't seem to have adjusted the team. They've just left this space. Oman is on the right centre half, McGuinness the left, and there's a lot of space here for Sligo Rovers to exploit if they can get it out here. Green is on his own all the time.
Sligo Rovers get the free kick now for that. And in no particular hurry from Ian Barraclough's team. Frustration for Trevor Crawley. It must be satisfaction for this man, though. You won't see it on his face for some time, not at least for another 12 minutes. The final whistle sounds. And the flag goes up. Free kick to Shamrock Rovers.
Foul against Cretaro in the air, jumping with the biggest man, the smallest man on the pitch, jumping with the biggest man. He gave away a foul. I think Ian Barraclough has got his tactics spot on, and the balance of his team has been magnificent today, and moving Cretaro up has been very wise indeed.
Here goes Gilali, and Green to the left, and it's Green, saved by Brush, and drilled in once more, this time by Cawley. And Doe trying to win it back, but a chance of a counter for Shamrock Rovers. And we win the ball back. And Davern wanted Green to run. That's gone for the throw.
Shamrock Rovers are just so ragged looking now. There's nobody on the right hand side of them. Ronan Finn is playing as an attacking right winger. There's no one in the right back position. Every time Sligo play it into Green, he's free. Got in that time. Decent save by Brush, but doesn't look like Shamrock Rovers have the energy to get forward and look for the goal.
McGuinness. And now it's Oman. No trouble for McMillan, and away by Rogers. Ten men of Shamrock Rovers have 10 minutes to retrieve this. Kane lost his footing. Keneally. And that'll do nicely for Sligo Rovers. Shamrock Rovers are the ones who have to up the tempo and try and find a way through. And this is the last substitution.
Carl Shepherd looks like he's going to come on, another forward. They're very, very open at the back, Shamrock Rovers, but they've got to go for it, try and rescue something from it. Little signs there with Stewart and link up with Finn. Now Shonny O'Connor on the wide position, but none of them getting into the box quick enough. And great defending again, Macmillan and Keane, not just as they were the last time out.
And it all ends in a goal kick for Sligo Rovers. Frustration for Sean O'Connor in particular, and Shamrock Rovers in general. It's Ronan Finn who's going to be replaced by Carl Shepherd. Tony O'Donoghue has the news of that.
Yes, I'm with Ian Barraclough, and I suppose when it's 11 against 10, what's the most important thing you've got to do?
Tony, I'm looking for the experienced players to do the right things, lead by example, do the basics correctly and see the game out properly. Pass the ball around, use the spaces and don't allow their 10 men to get a sniff of it.
Thank you.
Thomas Stewart in round the back, flags up though against him, and as the ball is in the possession of the Sligo Rovers goalkeeper, Alan Kelly, the referee, says play on.
Well, Ian Barclough is right. They have an opportunity now, Sligo, with the extra man to get a hold of possession and pass it around. The game has become a bit scrappy, which is suiting.
It's a pull of the shirt by Ken O'Man, and a yellow card for him for that on Aaron Green. Team not to have been a clear goal scoring opportunity, but he was the last defender.
Yeah, I think Jason McGuinness may have got across. There was no pace on the ball. It was hopping. The referee was right. I wouldn't have seen that as a red card one. I think McGuinness would have got back to help out if need be. They're just so open. If Sligo string a few passes together, if Green gets out a little bit wider towards the touchline, he's acres of space to receive the ball in, and even if he doesn't run a goal, Sligo can just retain possession and pass it around and frustrate Shamrock Rovers even more. But a chance here at the free kick.
Two players standing for Undo, who can come and thump it, and it's certainly within range. And Richard Brush has the organising to do. So here comes Undo. Quite work the way he... it's all a bit of an act, you feel, in the end, to try and deceive. Didn't quite work. Davern trying to find Undo. Davern winning it back. Bentry. It's cut out by McGuinness. Robinson. McGuinness again. And Ryan. Ends up going through harmlessly to Gary Rogers.
That last free kick, Joe, though, it was definitely a training ground one, but it's one that they need to go back on the training ground. You know, that's all, Joe, having a little go. And there's just out the corner. He needed to get out of his feet further out and roll. Shane Robinson read it just, or not Shane Robinson, it was a good out. But Mark Quigley got a block on it, but maybe it was Shane Robinson. But for Sligo now, it doesn't matter if the match is scrappy. They just need to keep their concentration, not do anything stupid around their own penalty area. Match Jason McGuinness and O'Man when they get up in the box for set pieces like this situation. And when they have possession, use it calmly and in the wide positions where Rovers are short.
Anthony Elding, meanwhile, is about to become the final Sligo Rovers substitute. Gilali taken off his toe by Robinson. Ryan. That was Ventry stepping in. Gilali. Green. Gritaro. Caught by O'Connor. Throw into Sligo Rovers.
Is that so mentioned, George?
Elding then sent off in the 1-1 draw at Tala in May between these two. A striker who is now with his 14th club.
Well, he had a great start with Sligo Rovers. He was scoring goals to beat the band. I think he got 11 or 12 in those 88 games this season. They won 8 matches in a row, Sligo Rovers. And he looked like he had something about him, that's for sure. But the goals have dried up. They've become scarce lately. He's not in the starting team now. But this is a good situation to be coming in now. Get in the last few minutes, 5 minutes to go. Shamrock Rovers getting scarcer looking at the back, and Sligo will have opportunities to get him on it in the box.
I wonder when was the last time there was a former Ferencváros player in the FAI Cup final. That would be the case if Elding's in the squad and Sligo have qualified. A short spell with them, one of those 14 clubs that he was with since he began with his hometown team in Boston in Lincolnshire in England. Shamrock Rovers have survived that. Joseph Ndo and Alan Kane, who scored the insurance goal. Back for Ndo, taken away from Powell, skillfully done, and Ndo's cross. Elding!
Well, he's showing off a little bit now, Joe, but what a magnificent cross. Elding really should have let it run. Sligo Rovers had the Delali and Green completely free. We see Joseph picking her up here after doing his trick in the middle of the field. Wonderful ball. No need for Elding to go over. He should have just stepped over, let it run behind him. The two Sligo players were completely free in the penalty area. It would have been a set-up and a finish from either Green or Jalali. But look, Elding wanted to have a go. It was first touch.
Well, it was something that brought a smile to the face of the Sligo manager. He'll hardly be your man of the match, Brian.
The Sligo manager?
No, Elding.
No.
It might have been a headline maker, all right, had it gone in, but it didn't. Shamrock Rovers have got a free kick. And the referee says no free kick.
Well, I don't think it was a free kick either. Shepherd seems a bit upset about it all. Good check back, comes on the inside of Davern. If it was a free, it was outside the box, it wasn't a penalty kick.
Elding is looking for Keneally. Back for Kane. Said to come from McMillan, but it didn't quite come in time. He wants them further up the pitch. But 2 to the good. It's looking good for Sligo Rovers. And here they come again with Green. Elding wants to defeat Green. It opens a gap for him. Green back for Elding. Elding! He's back at the gold standard, and Sligo are back in the cup final.
Well, Green did splendidly well there. Jason McGuinness, crossfield pass to his other centre half. Gave it straight to Green. He advanced. Elding made a good run to his left to take the player away. In fairness to Green, he was unselfish, passed it into Elding's path, and he finished. I wouldn't say with some aplomb, it just about got there. But great that he got it. You see Green attacking Oman with the ball, plays it into Elding's path, and gets a touch off the goalkeeper's legs. Richard Bush, 3-0. It's game over now. Great day for Sligo Rovers.
Was the second goal in the second round, the opening cup tie against Waterford, and that's his second goal in this season's FAI Cup. And Sligo Rovers are on their way to their 11th cup final. And when you look at what they've achieved in recent years, they were permanent fixtures for 3 years. It'll be their 4th final in 5.
Well, they've been the better team here today, George, clearly from the start. They've just been that little bit sharper and quicker to the ball all around the pitch. They've been the better team, and they're deservedly 3-0 ahead. Shamrock Rovers have no complaint.
There'll be 4 additional minutes when this minute runs out, but you don't really feel that 4 minutes would be enough for Shamrock Rovers to retrieve this. They really haven't threatened this impeccable Sligo defence that looks like reaching the FAI Cup final again without conceding a goal on the way.
They've been very solid defensively, more inventive in the middle and in the attack, just more aggressive and sharper in the tackle, and far the better team today. Shamrock Rovers were lethargic, weren't in it, didn't really get going, passing was off, and they didn't defend particularly well either.
A free kick to Shamrock Rovers, which Sean O'Connor will take. O'Connor's free kick, defended by Kane. Jalali's taken it away from Ryan, and that challenge by Powell is a free kick to Sligo Rovers.
Yeah, but look, picking man of the match today, it's difficult. I had to be a Sligo player. I thought Henderson did very well in the match. Danny Ventry, the captain, was splendid. But Jalali as well, really, really very good. But I think today I'd have to go for Joseph Ndo. He's in the middle of the pitch there, pointing and directing as he's done all match. He's torn back the clock. He's been magnificent in the game. He's made the decisive pass on the first goal, and he's just controlled that midfield. And brilliant display in the most important area of the pitch today.
FAI Ford Cup man of the match, Joseph Ndo, another accolade for Sligo Rovers. And Shamrock Rovers' remarkable run of 16 successive cup ties, which have ended in victory, is about to end, and there won't be a clean sweep of the senior knockout trophies for them this season. The EA Sports Cup, the Satanta Sports Cup, they already have in the trophy cabinet in Tala. But the FAI Ford Cup isn't going to join them, and the long wait for the kings of the FAI Cup will continue, not since 1987, and the 24 times winners won.
Well, they had a chance, the opportunity today. Two well-matched teams, but Sligo too good for them.
And it really has been a remarkable period for Sligo Rovers. 4 finals in the last 5.
Yeah, and the two of them have been incredible. They're going to the penalty kicks, and Kieran Kelly coming on to save the penalties. The 2-0, the Bows one, and doing it again the next year. It's been a great period in their history, you know, probably their best ever period, winning two cups, 1 league, back in the cup final again this year. It's really, it's really I'd say the best time ever for Sligo Rovers Football Club.
Well, 4 weeks from today, the trains will be full, the N4 will be packed, and they'll be making their way to follow the bitter red at the Aviva Stadium, which you have to say has become almost like a second home to them in recent times in terms of the FAI Ford Cup.
And you have to earn that, George, and they've earned it. Great club, lovely little ground, very good underage structures now, very good facilities. Gavin Dyke's doing smashing work at youth level. They look like they nearly have it all at the moment.
Well, we're approaching the end of the third of the 4 additional minutes. Sligo with the third goal have well and truly killed this off. And for Sligo Rovers, it's a day of delight, and for Shamrock Rovers, it's one of abject despair, you feel, after promising so much and the hope of another tilt at the FAI Cup. It's going to come to an end, and just as they've done in 2 of the last 3 seasons, Sligo Rovers are going to remove Shamrock Rovers from the blue ribboned competition.
And Joe Ndo takes all the attention, even right to the last minute of the game. He's been magnificent in the match. Now he's having a go at the referee for suggesting he might need to leave the pitch. Gets up, don't want any treatment.
So we're in the final minute of the additional 4, and Sligo Rovers are on their way back to the Aviva Stadium. Well, there will be one last free kick for Shamrock Rovers. An opportunity for one to test Gary Rogers, who deals with it acrobatically and presents Shamrock Rovers with a corner to conclude the matter. Shamrock Rovers will end on the up.
It was a good effort by Carl Shepherd, but Danny Ventry was down on the ground in the middle of the pitch while all that was going on. I was surprised the referee let Shamrock Rovers take the free kick quickly. Chance for them at the corner kick, but it's immaterial now.
The last chance for Shamrock Rovers to threaten the Sligo goal, and it's hoofed away for another corner.
Jason McGuinness got a shot in the far post. Gary Rogers still sharp. Is this in the game, coming up to the 95th minute. Now there's no ball for Mark Quigley to take the corner kick, but I'd say Shamrock Rovers and their staff just want to get out of here now. It's embarrassing at this stage to be 3-0 down the semi-final.
Last throw of the dice for Shamrock Rovers. Is there to be a consolation? Not with a corner like that. It's cleared away by Seamus Keneally. The final whistle sounds, and 4 weeks today, Sligo Rovers will be back at the Aviva Stadium for their 4th final in 5 years, and they will meet Drogheda United in a pairing that has never before come together at the ultimate stage of the FAI Ford Cup. A victory they thoroughly deserved today, dislodging Shamrock Rovers for the 3rd time in 4 seasons in the FAI Cup, with goals from their captain Danny Ventre, from Alan Kane from the penalty spot after Conor McCormick had been sent off, and from finally Anthony Elding to complete what must go down as a bit of a rout as Sligo Rovers march on, still to concede a goal in the cup this season. In 4 weeks, it'll be Sligo against Drogheda, because here in the showground, it's ended Sligo Rovers 3, Shamrock Rovers 0. Match analysis to come after the break.
So there it is, the pairing for the 2013 FAI Ford Cup final, which will be played at the Aviva Stadium on Sunday, the 3rd of November. Drogheda United against Sligo Rovers. The man of the match today was Joseph Ndo. He's talking to Tony.
And first of all, Jim Mulholland is from Ford going to present Joe with his award. Congratulations to you, Joe, and well done.
Joseph, congratulations on an excellent performance. Thank you.
And Joseph, did you enjoy that as much as it looked like you were enjoying it?
Yeah, of course, we really enjoy. You know, it was a tough week. We lost someone this week, Andy, and it wasn't easy. It was a lot of emotion, you know. But it was a good win.
Well, congratulations and best wishes.
Thank you.
Well done to Joseph Ndo. It was 1-0 at half-time. Let's now look at the key moments of that second half. Tony, the sending off, obviously significant, and the resulting penalty as well.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. Significant moment in the game, but I think Sligo were in complete control even at this point. You got to credit the manager. Pick Jalali, wonderful tackle there by him, but all game he was excellent right off the front, man. And here, you know, unfortunately for McCormick, he didn't get the ball at all. He got the man. Wonderful penalty. 2-0.
Down to 10 men then. It's going to be a hard game for Shamrock Rovers, but they made all the changes that Tony suggested Trevor Colley might make in the second half. It wasn't enough. It was a comprehensive victory, as you could see. Fully deserved the win. By far the better team. Every area of that pitch out there, Sligo Rovers had the better Shamrock Rovers.
Okay, well, I'm afraid we have run completely out of time here at the showgrounds. My thanks to Tony and Richie for being with us this afternoon. It's been a day when Drogheda United reached their 3rd final of the year and Sligo Rovers reached their 4th in 5 years. Join us tomorrow at 7 for Monday Night Soccer. Until then, from all of us here, bye-bye.